Welcome back to another episode of Greatest Let's Play Modded Minecraft series. Episode 27. Yeah, we're getting quite far in these episodes. That's pretty good. This episode I've actually just upgraded to the Direwolf 1.0.3 pack, and there's been quite a lot of changes. Maybe not obvious, obviously I have to upgrade. We do have hopefully a forge fix coming soon. I'm not sure if it's in this pack or not, in the pack yet or not, but when it is, we should no longer need to install Fastcraft. There's a fix for the lag induced when new chunks are explored. You might not see that yourself unless you're exploring a lot of new area, but if you're on a server with other people, you definitely will see that. So let's get started. What else really have we got going since last episode? Last episode I was making a big reactor, and I've cleaned up in here, by the way. See, a lot of the stuff has gone. I've made bedrockium. That was all that compressed cobblestone, enough to make bedrockium drums. We'll come back to that in a minute. I've upgraded the big reactor. It's now 7x7, which means it can run pretty much constantly and keep up with Quarry. So I then replaced the mechanism because it can keep them indefinitely. I don't need shutting the reactor. Well, I don't need to keep controlling the mine, you know, turning it off when I'm low on power in the capacitor. Instead, I turned off, and hopefully I won't hit anything vital. No, I don't think there is. Good. Remember, there was machinery back here. Instead, I turn off the reactor. Let's grab some view. I turn off the reactor itself, and it's behind here. Can I remember which side it is? Hopefully I don't break anything. Yeah, that is just saying mining on or off. And if it's on, that's fine. If this capacitor falls to a certain level, this now, using this, when it hits 50%, it's going to turn the reactor on, and when it hits 90%, it stops it. So it's all good. That's that. I've added a bank of alloy smelters and sag mills because I'm pretty much running, well, I can run this thing constantly now. Which means in here I've got 20,000 iron, 10,000 gold, and 13,000 yellorium. Yellorium is not being depleted at all. In fact, it's growing so high I could probably make a much bigger reactor. Not that I want to, I may make multiple quite efficient ones, just to use the fuel in the best way possible. As you can see, these start activating. They have filters on the back, so only certain metals go into certain ones. And, you know, that's all. They're all upgraded with octadic capacitors, so that's all well and good. However, as I mentioned at the end of the last episode, I needed a way to get out there, and for the moment it's a little bit manual. Ignore the circuitry, please. That's something I was working on and is not working. But in this top, and yeah, this is part of the circuitry as well, but this is something important. The barrel, I just put unlinked linking books, and I put a transfer node here, and it looks constantly for a destination. This is a hyper rationing pipe, and what it does is it only allows one of a thing to go into a certain chamber, and that is one book. Now, of course, I was trying to get this circuitry to work. It's not very reliable. I was just going to get it to activate and send a book into here. But since that's not reliable, I will take this book. And for the moment, just to demonstrate this, that's the current destination. It's very, very far behind the quarry now. The quarry is probably a kilometre ahead of it, if not further. So all I do is I drop an unlinked linking book into there. It goes through system and pops back into here. In between those two is the quarry, and we'll go over there in a second and explain what just happened, but that is a linked linking book. If I take the old book out, the new book will pop into place, and I can bin this current book. Now, this is a Mistcraft portal. It's just a ring of crystals, and if you make 8 crystals in a ring in a crafting table, you make a book receptacle. Attach that anywhere on the ring of crystals and put a book in it, a linked book, and it will activate and you can step through. Let me just get rid of this book because I don't want any accidents going to that old place. The downside to this, and the reason why I've got 2 book receptacles like this, what I was trying to do is send a book out, get it to come back and into here, which is like the waiting book. So what I was trying to get to happen is, if the quarry is active, every so often just take out this book, put it in this chest, or throw it away, it doesn't really matter, this is just rubbish, and there'll be a waiting book. That waiting book is going to be activated and pulled in and created all the time, so there's always an active book which is close to the quarry-ish, because this mechanism is replacing that periodically. There's a waiting book which is right at the quarry, probably, and that's something that if we step through, we're going to be stood right on top of the autonomous activator, or in the autonomous activator. I wanted to just protect against that. I may not even need that, because I've tried it before since then, and it worked okay. I didn't want to just like kill myself by arriving in the quarry, in the frame quarry machine. So now this should be activated, and enough time should have passed in my waffling and my my extensive explanation of what's a simple system, hopefully simple anyway, that this should be close to the quarry. And there we go. And on cue, you can see that the quarry is laying a path, and that path goes a long way back now. All that I'm actually doing in here, as you can see, is having autonomous activators. They just right-click stuff, and if I pop down, they will lay both ahead and below themselves. I'm not quite sure why they lay below themselves first, because they're not set to that. They're set to aim level. No idea, but it works fine. And behind them, underneath this, I don't know if you can see it, there it is, there's an ender chest, which I'm filling with stone, or at least I'm providing enough stone to keep them going. Above are these 2 ender chests, and they came from our room back there at my base. This is the input, that's the output, just denoted by the black ink. They go into the autonomous activator, which immediately right-clicks anything that's in it, including an unlinked link book, and gets shot out and straight back to my base. Cool? Yeah, I think it's cool enough to get out of here. Trust me, after flying very, very, very far, you want the system like this. At least something like this. The other thing I played with, and a suggestion from someone on Reddit, was the Ender track from Railcraft. Why have I got hobgoblins on top of my... Go away. Yes. What was I? It's to play with the Ender track. Yeah, I think it's called Ender track, Ender... something like that. Ender... Rail. Yeah, and that will teleport anything in a minecart that hits it, including the player if they're in the minecart. So it's possible I could have like a little rival system here and a departure system going back again. That might be doable. However, that wasn't the only upgrade I did, and I did this off camera because you wouldn't have wanted to see this happening. You really wouldn't. It was quite laborious trying to get this pipework to work. You'll see that instead of just these frame blocks here and on the sides, I've got more annihilation planes, and that required some extra pipe work basically, because each of these smart cables can only store 8 machines, and of course there's 4 there. There's 4 on the front. That's 8 already. So I can't just run one line of this running left and one line running right. So instead, I've got one line running those first 3, I think. Yeah, first 4. Another line running 3 more, not 4. You'll see why. And then the third line running this one, this one, this one, this one, and that one. So there's 5 on that last one. And the reason for this is I found it hitting these crystal blocks, and the front was fine because, hey, it's a wall of annihilation planes. But the back, sorry, the sides, when it hit these, These are not, I can't really close them off. I could just, could just remove the cover entirely and maybe that would work. But just to protect against that happening, and also to protect against, if this cut through a hill, it's not likely to happen in this, but I wanted the design to work for anyone, including any of you. If you're cutting through a hill and you cut through and gravel falls down, gravel will then, it'll move forward, the gravel will hit one of these, like this one, will stick, and the whole thing will jam shut. So instead, the gravel will fall onto the annihilation plane, and boom, it's gone. So this will clear not just a hole the same size as the frame quarry, but will clear one block above, one block to the left, one block below, one block right. And you'll see right there that it's already cleared its way, I think, through that one. Certainly through, not that, it needs to be at the height of the quarry. It's already gone through a bunch of tendrils doing this. I think that will be one, for instance. It clears its way through, and it just keeps going. It's like the Energizer Bunny of frame quarries. Which, yeah, it's pretty good. So, yeah, I've just got some other tools and bits and bobs in here. Nothing to worry about too much. We can head back to our base. And because that book is all static into this one position, I don't have to worry about it. I don't really have too much room for a portal, although what I could do is put a horizontal one and jump into it. Assuming that these actually support horizontal portals. Do I have room for that? If I put a portal... I could have a one block portal there, possibly. Yeah, or extend it a bit. Nah, I got a book for now. Doesn't really matter for now. We'll come back. Think about it another time. It's just convenience more than anything else. Jumping through a portal's easier. Moving on, and you'll see I'm actually running out of space quite quickly. That's something I should actually cover. I've got a cell workbench, which is not a very complicated recipe. Cell workbench. This is a chest, processor, some wool, and some iron. I then got 16K ME storage cells, and they are stuff you've already seen before, just more of them in, so I'm not really going to craft that on camera. And then we want ingots. So anything that you might say want to keep out of your generic storage, all of these, 6, and that's 7. Don't have much copper yet. In fact, it's annoying that there's 8 there because of the Eulorium. I'll leave the copper for now. So if we go into the cell workbench and we drop a cell in the top, I should be able to then partition it. Configure. Yeah, there we go. So if I say I want this containing iron only, what this should then do is... Alright. That's a Steam notification. Go away. Steam. Remind me to turn Steam off when I'm doing this. Let me just switch that back. And black screen. And we're back. Good. Sorry about that. So, if we... that should have partitioned. Did that just revert because I was... Oh, hang on, did I take it out? Okay. Okay, so that should be partitioned, included precise. So that should be just for iron, I think. No, that isn't actually. Does this actually have to be powered? I wonder. Based on currently stored items. Yeah, that's definitely not working. Yeah, I'll come back to that once I've figured it out. That's all you used to have to do with the old one, but that was in AE1. That's still working, I hope. It is. And there's lightning everywhere. Let's get rid of the nighttime. As you may be aware from looking at the patch notes, we now have tier 6 blood altars. If you thought this was just a bit too small for your tastes, we're going to have to build a larger altar soon. And it's not something I do right away because I'm missing some of the components for it. But if we head out to our pyramid, I've made a few changes. First of all, there's a portal back instead of having to use a book, and it's inside. Second of all, that's our old pyramid size, at least the internal volume. This is our new pyramid size. It's a bit weird because the beacons are no longer the outside one, and it looks a bit weird because you'd expect pillar, 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 and then maybe a beacon on the outside. But for the moment, this is where the I believe where the new pillars have to go. So I need to research that a little bit more, and I'll probably cover that maybe next episode, maybe the one after. They need to come out actually on outside the pyramid, annoyingly. So I don't want to have to move everything down in the pyramid. I really don't. New texture for blood, and I've changed some things down here. As you'll see, or as you see, there's no more pipework in there. There's no batteries, and this is ethereal glass. It's like the ineffable glass I've already shown you. I can run in here, hi, and back out, and they can't get me, which must be incredibly frustrating for the witches, but hey, who cares? And the ender tank's out here, and there's some pipework going underneath, along with a tesseract for power. And this is just dark glass, which lets me see through it, but doesn't let light through. All it looks like it does, but it doesn't. On top, as you can see now, everything has been covered, and I've run out of dark glass, so I'll finish that later. This, by the way, now, what I used to find is I used to come in here, and there used to be a passageway at the back to get underneath there to there. And it's usually full of witches. Now I've got a separate wireless redstone spawner, which I've already shown you before, and other things. Witches will start appearing there, you know, every few minutes. It takes a fair amount of power to be transferred. Oh, there's one. Yeah, it just popped up now. Don't need too many though. Yeah, my system's continually full. One quick note, Sigil of Green Grove, that's been nerfed. If you enjoyed watching everything just appear and grow like crazy, for example, I used to go out here to get paper, and to do that I used to just run along, get rid of all of those, and turn this on. And at this point, stuff would start appearing so fast that the graphics updated before the things had actually changed, before they'd actually grown. So you used to see them popping up all over the place by now. Now, not so much. They do eventually grow, and they will grow faster than normal, but it's nothing like the rate that they were. So heavy enough there. I'm hoping that the ritual of the Green Grove, on the other hand, is not nerfed. It doesn't mention anything about that in the patch notes, so yeah, I'm gonna take that as a given, unless anyone wants to correct me. If so, leave a comment below, along with the comments on anything else you've seen so far. So that's that. I did want to introduce something new from Blood Magic, at least. These ethereal slates, they're the tier 5 slates. We can get them just from Blood Altar with 30,000 LP, and they make two new things, or at least two new things. One is the Harvest Goddess Sigil, which we'll make in a minute, and I'm thinking that is going to destroy any mature crops and replant them. Hopefully that's what it does, we'll see. And this Rune of Acceleration, unfortunately there's no patch notes on what it does. I'm guessing it is allowing you to, like the superior capacity is to the capacity rune, and the top tier one that increases the amount of blood stored. I'm assuming this is a top tier version of the the rune that lets you pump the capacity. Oh, what's it called? Let's just look it up. It's probably easier. The this one, the rune of dislocation. I'm assuming that this is just an increased version of it. It's the same color. Colors are good. Eh. Well, who knows? But that's what I'm assuming it is. I'm no longer pumping blood out of mine, of course, because I've got the automatic farm. But that will certainly be handy if that's what it's for. Maybe to make an underground crafting version. You know, you make blood in an automated way, and instead of putting it into your network, just like the witch farm I've already got, instead of putting it in your network, you put it into another altar via way of these acceleration runes. Don't know. Let's see. But I will make this now. Harvest Goddess Sigil. I need 3 gold hose. Sticks. Hopefully I have some of those. 1, 2, 3. And I need 1 of these ethereal sigils. And I need my, or a orb. In fact, I think it needs a top tier orb. Archmage, or the new blood orb, which we'll come to. Yeah, so I need my top tier orb. Do I have a spare one? Probably don't. It's probably in my pyramid. I can grab that for a second. This right here. See how convenient that is? Harvest Goddess. I'll take you back where you belong. So, Harvest Goddess Sigil. If I right click through these, they on? No, no, okay. If this does what I think it will, then all these should break. We'll see. Yep. And then replanted. Sorry, that really has to exist. I'm so it's pretty amazing to have that on hand. So yeah, you may want one of those. It's totally up to you. But if you're collecting any crops by hand, yeah, I wonder if that works with. Does it work with? No. Yeah, obviously. Or cactus? No. No. Okay. Just planted crops. Which is kind of handy if you just need food occasionally. Let's put you in the system. Hopefully there'll be a ritual of those, if there's not already. And then you could use that just to break things like, for instance, our ender farm. You could use that to break them, and then they would then be collected. Instead of using this one of the wild, you could use your harvest one. Maybe they'd be. In fact, let's just try it. Let's just turn that off for a second, and will they work? No. Developer, get to it. You know what you got to do now. That would be cool. Right. Now that I've spent 23 minutes talking about the updates off camera, I did actually want to show you one more thing. This is mostly going to be a talky episode. Sorry for that. Obviously, I want to keep things quite snappy, so there's not too much going on that you have to watch me slowly do. Is there anything else that I need to talk about before we look at other things? No, the only other thing that I really did off camera is I created an extra room down here, moved all the barrels into it, and added storage buses to them for applied energistics, and that's my input. So in order to tidy up that whole system that no longer processes any incoming stuff, if I grab my Yeta wrench and change to it, you'll see that all that system's gone. Instead, is just a very simple power system, because I can just send everything into AE and pull stuff back out of it again, which is good. And there's my tools. That's good. Let's move on to a bit of new stuff. The first thing I want to kind of briefly discuss is this kind of thing. This drum buffer system, I've got 1.8 million liquid XP, which is pretty good. It made a full stack of magical wood. But I've also got the same system down here. We got these fluids, and then a secondary one because they occasionally produce sewage and blood. This is 31 million. That's half full now with nether lava. This one is 7 million, and that is produced just from this system. We end up with stuff in here that I can then use to create more compressed versions, which is what Bedrockium does. If you look at Bedrockium, thankfully you don't have to create it from bedrock, but just triple and quadruple compressed cobblestone makes 1. You need 6 per drum. But this pipework system is a bit confused, and it's probably best that we look at the next pipe system up to see what we can do about improving that and compacting it, because I also want to compact this. That's triple green, I think, at the top. Looks triple lime, I should say. I kind of want a more compact system. To do that, we've used fluid conduits. And there's 3 types. The first one we didn't use, it's gravity fed, so any input you've got to put above an output. Otherwise, it will just stay in the fluid, in the conduit. It'll just like pool there. That's okay if it fills up, then it will then go above the conduit because the fluid doesn't compress, I don't think. But it's only really useful for your very starting stuff and gravity fed systems. Pressurized fluid conduit is the stuff we've been using. It always empties everything out as it actually goes in. Great, you say, but has some complicated pipework. Ender fluid conduit is a new type of thing. And I ran out of that already. Yeah, so maybe I should make more. Do I have any energetic alloy? I do. So let's just make a lot more. Ender. Pearl. And we can just... Hopefully Carpenter's Garage doors will be included soon. That is a much nicer way of doing it. There we go. So that should make me some more of the ingredient for this. Ender fluid conduits. There we go. That'll be enough. And I'll do it through here first. So the idea here is the Ender fluid conduit, in addition to allowing more fluid through it, max extract, maximum input output. Input output is when it hits a junction of fluid, that's how much it allows through. Ender fluid conduit should allow multiple fluids to be transported on the same line. So instead of gaps like this, because and all kind of arrangements, you could use covers, or you could, if these happen to be full at the time that you're putting extra stuff in, see this kind of thing happens, then they won't connect. So you can rig it that way, but the easiest thing to do is just say, look, forget it. Let's take all of you and let's just put our inputs up here. Let me grab the let me grab those. Right, these are my inputs. Those are my main buffers, and I've put those the wrong way around. Have I? No, I haven't. Yeah, I have. Oh. Come here. Those are my fluids coming in. And I can just lay this however I want and set these to ores extract. always active, and they actually have filters. I was looking for that for ages. I didn't know it's just the ender ones that had filters. That would have saved me some effort. Always active, extract. Always active, extract. And as you can see, you can't see the fluids anymore because that would be a horrible mess. But it is draining, and they are going into the tank, hopefully. Let me find a tank that's increasing. Yep, there we go. They're increasing. And we can just continue adding new ones of those. I've not put an output tank for XP yet, so those two are still okay as they are. But I'll need to upgrade the conduit once we've done that. So we've got a really nice system there. I can, of course, go a bit further and say, just make sure this down one is always insert. I don't think it particularly matters in this particular case, but if you want to be thorough, which I try to be, which is why I'm not happy with that book system yet, that now works, and you've got a fluid buffer system using NRIO conduit, which is pretty good, has to be said. That's much cleaner. And now all you need to do is any machine, all I need to do is any machine that uses liquid XP like this one, I'm just going to dig behind and it's annoying. Fix it later. Dig behind, and then, you know, add my inputs accordingly. That's even more annoying. There we go. So yeah, that's pretty much that done for this episode. Just a bit of improvement, cleaning up the whole base. One final thing, just before we leave this episode, because there's been an awful lot of talking, I did want to discuss briefly the future of the base. I will expand more buildings, I think. I have removed that one altar. I may remove the other one because I'm not using it as much apart from crafting, which I could use the other one, given there's a witch system underneath it. I definitely want to do more Britannia. That's something that is quite important. That building could probably go. These ones I could probably move out. But what I want to do, and this is going to be an off-camera, but I'm not going to show it again after today until it's ready to be moved into. Full disclosure, I went and got lots more Mistcraft pages, but I ran out of time really to do this kind of thing. I'm just trying to get these episodes out to you daily, or you know, every few days at the most, and it was taking an awful long time, and I could never get the pages. So full disclosure, I got a Creative Spawn notebook which has all the pages in it, and I used it to create an extra age. Now the extra age is not for anything material. There is no advantage to it whatsoever, apart from it just looked the way I wanted it to be, because that's the void age that I want to create. I may create another void age as well, but it's just really to get the right look. I then did I throw it away? If I didn't, I think I threw it away. No, I think I destroyed it. There's just no reason for me to keep it. Anything else, I can go and look for more libraries. And it's in here, Void Heaven or Void World. And this is where eventually I'm going to move into. That took a bit of construction. As you can see, this is more like a heaven kind of area. It is a light blue sky, permanent sun, and these are floating platforms. What I'm trying to build is something that is not your typical, that needs more work on the underside, but on the overside looks very, very smooth ramp-like. I wanted something that wasn't just one of these void worlds that you see in all kinds of YouTube series that is just flat. You know, it's just, hey, we got the void, let's just extend everything outwards with a builder's wand and not have to do much work. At that point, it's just automation. And that's fine, because I want to do the automation as well. But I do want a bigger kind of nice looking void world, and there's nothing in this world. I mean, this is none of this was here when I started. Bats still spawn. No idea why. This is Mushroom Island biome, but bats still spawn, and this is right down at 0, right there. So that's a kind of guide for the bottom of the world, and the top of the world. Obviously, it's 256 is the highest build level, but this building is on the blue side, which will be the technology side. And if we just get to the top, it needs a lot more work on the outside to decorate it. Just wanted to show it off briefly. Inside, we're going to have lots of floors. Each of them are, you know, a good 9 or 10 high, and that should have plenty of room for expansion. I don't want just these walls either. The inside will have to be decorated as well, but it'll take some time to do. I just wanted to show it briefly now, and it'll be many episodes down the road before we get to it. But for the moment, that's a start. I have to do the power side, the magic side, and the farming side as well. Yes, this is the other advantage of having that frame quarry. I'm building it out of mainly marble, at least for the underlying stuff before I start decorating. And marble happens to come out of the quarry. You guys can spell marble. And I've got 17,000. It's going up faster than I can actually get the stuff in the quarry. So that's pretty much that for today. That's 30 odd minutes of me talking a lot rather than building stuff on camera, but I wanted to get that out of the way. I will try and make a few more episodes before the Christmas break. It is the 23rd today as I'm actually recording this, so if I'm not around for a few days, don't worry about that. Okay, so as usual, thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more of these videos, please do subscribe and let people know by sharing. Leave a comment below if you've got any questions, particularly about the frame quarry stuff. If you've got any suggestions about it, I'd love to hear them. One of them that I am thinking of doing, it's not full AE2 at the moment. It is still it still has those ender chests on the back. Wait for the world to spawn. Come on, don't crash. This could be crashing. If it's crashing, I'll end the episode. Oh. Come back. This doesn't actually happen. Oh, there we go. Oh, and it's frozen. Not sure why, but I think I'll end the episode there if it's going to keep freezing. Or I'm back. I'm back. No idea why. Occasionally they run out of stone as well. It's something I need to actually sort out. Leaves these kind of gaps. What I was going to say, it's not quite AE2 complete yet. There's still these ender chests for the books. There is inside here there are still tesseracts and for power, which we could get rid of with some AE advanced stuff. There are also ender chests elsewhere for other things. And what else have we got? Yeah, wireless redstone as well, but I'm not sure if there's any way to deal with that apart from AE. And of course the mining wells, well, there's no equivalent in AE2, so we need the mining wells at least. There's that trash can though. What we could think about doing is linking this with our main system itself. So there is a way to do that with something called a quantum bridge. It's pretty advanced for AE2 and we haven't even got to auto crafting yet. So I think I'm going to leave it for some time before we come back to that. But that would let us, you know, directly link the two systems together without all of the kludgy machinery just to move items backwards and forwards. Things like the those interfaces that are on top of the mining wells, they go into the AE system and then back into a storage bus into a tesseract, which then goes to my base. So yeah, give me the book. It's a bit kludgy. Anyway, that's 40 minutes now of me talking. Sorry about the talking in the episode. Hopefully you won't take take offence, and next time we'll come back and, well, I'll definitely have something new to do. I don't want to do a talky episode again for a while. Thanks for watching.